So, what if I suggest to you that antibiotic resistance is not the terrifying apocalypse we've been warned about, but actually a sign of nature doing its job? Before you call me crazy, hear me out, because I think we've been blaming the wrong guy. So we've been told bacteria are the bad guys, microscopic villains lurking on every surface, just waiting to infect, inflame, and ruin your holiday plans. But here's the plot twist. You're mostly made of bacteria. Seriously, you have more bacterial cells than human ones. In fact, there's a whole ecosystem inside you, a jungle of microorganisms partying day and night in your gut, on your skin, even in your mouth. And guess what? They are not just squatters. They're working hard, helping to digest your food, regulate your immune system, and even make you feel happy. That serotonin buzz, yeah, you can thank the gut bacteria for that. So if you're basically a walking bacteria hotel, why do we keep trying to exterminate them? Now here's where things get murky. We've been told that there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. Like probiotics are like angels and E. coli is the devil. But nature doesn't really work like that. There are no villains or heroes, just roles. Context is everything. Take E. coli for example. It's actually always present in your gut. It doesn't cause any problems unless your inner terrain becomes imbalanced. Then it steps in, not to cause disease, mind you, but to clean up the mess. And the symptoms you get, that's not the bacteria attacking you. That's your body responding to the cleanup. It's like blaming the garbage truck for the smell. No, the trash was already there. The bacteria just showed up to take it out. Now let's rewind a little bit. There's an old debate in science, still unresolved in mainstream circles, between Louis Pasteur, who said germs cause disease, and Antoine Béchamp, who said no, the terrain causes disease. Pasteur believed bacteria invade the body and create illness. Béchamp believed bacteria only appear when the inner environment is compromised, like mold growing on a neglected loaf of bread, for example. And here's the kicker. Pasteur's experiments were dodgy at best, some even say fraudulent, and on his deathbed, he reportedly admitted that Béchamp was right, the terrain is everything. But somehow, the pharmaceutical industry obviously preferred Pasteur's take on things, which allowed them to start making a pill for everything. And now we still teach germ theory in schools, and we still wage war on bacteria like they're the enemy. And it gets even wilder. Bacteria aren't just passive little dots under a microscope. They are polymorphous. They can change form depending on their environment. Basically, depending on what there is to do. A harmless microbe in one terrain can shift into a more aggressive cleanup form in another. Imagine a Swiss Army knife, except instead of tools, it's got detox modes. They morph depending on the job required. Nature is intelligent like that. And we're still trying to kill everything with hand sanitizers. So what's really happening when we get sick? Here's a different perspective for you to consider. When the body is overloaded with toxins, stress, suppressed emotions, poor food, or trauma, the inner terrains gets messy. And bacteria shows up to help break things down, basically. Not to attack you, but to decompose what doesn't belong anymore. Yes, it creates inflammation. Yes, it can be painful. But that's just part of the healing process. It's the body trying to return to balance. Again, stop blaming the janitor for the mess. Consider this also. We blame bacteria for gum disease and tooth decay, right? But what are we really doing when we brush our teeth? We're cleaning. We're trying to remove bits of food that get stuck between our teeth. Because we know, if they stay there, they'll rot. And guess who shows up when there's something rotting? Bacteria, yeah. That's literally their job. They're like the cleanup crew in a compost bin, breaking down leftover matter. The problem is, as they do their job, they can release acids. And those acids, well, they can wear down enamel, cause cavities, and lead to decay. So, bacteria get blamed. But if your mouth is clean, if there's nothing to break down, those same bacteria just hang out dormant. no acid, no drama. So the real question is, are bacteria causing the problem or just responding to it? Now, let's be fair. Antibiotics can save lives, no doubt. In extreme cases, they can be a powerful tool. But the problem is we use them like candy. For every sniffle, every earache, every unknown symptom. And every time we do that, we destroy not just the bacteria involved in the cleanup, but the entire microbial symphony that keeps us well. Imagine wiping out a rainforest just because of one mosquito. That's what antibiotics do to your gut. So, let's talk about antibiotic resistance. We're told it's a crisis, and it is in the sense that antibiotics are losing their effect. But here's the part no one's really talking about. It's not because bacteria are mutating into monsters. It's because they're adapting, they're surviving, they're evolving to resist destruction, not to hurt you, but to keep doing their job. The reason we fear resistance is because we fear bacteria. But if bacteria are allies, then resistance isn't rebellion, it's resilience. It's nature saying, please stop killing the cleanup crew. We're trying to help. So what if instead of constantly fighting bacteria, we listen? What if we looked at the terrain, our food, our stress levels, our toxins, our unresolved trauma, our stagnant emotions? What if health isn't about sterilizing everything, but restoring harmony? And what if disease isn't always an attack, but sometimes a cleanup? So maybe it's time we rethink the story. Maybe bacteria aren't the enemy. Maybe resistance is just life pushing back against our own misunderstanding. Let's stop the war. Let's heal the terrain. And most of all, let's choose awareness over fear. If this sparks something in you, if somehow it made you rethink the things you thought you knew, then consider subscribing for more content like this. And thank you for sticking around.